Hello and welcome to Vidikya. So let's start with the analysis of the Indian Express newspaper 26th of January. So before starting, I wish all our viewers a very happy Republic Day on this auspicious day. So the first news which we'll be discussing is Padma Vibhushan for Kalyan, General Rawat, Congress Azad, CPM Buddha on honors list. So recently, our union government has made this announcement that four personalities will be awarded with Padma Vibhushan and 17 personalities will be awarded with Padma Bhushan and 107 personalities will be awarded with Padma Shri Award. So overall, 128 eminent personalities will be awarded with different all the three awards as I mentioned. So if we start with the discussion of this news, so the eminent personalities will be getting Padma Vibhushan in the list are two are posthumous former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Kalyan Singh, late Shri Kalyan Singh, and second is General Bipin Rawat, our former CDS, late General Bipin Rawat, who recently died in a helicopter crash. Apart from these two big personalities, Hindustani classical vocalist Prabha Atre and Radhesham Khemka are among the list who have got Padma Bhushan. And apart from this, there are several prominent leaders from different sectors, especially with respect to, if I talk about medical sector, then the owner of Cyrus Poonawalla Institute, or you can say Serum Institute of India, Pune based, world's largest vaccine manufacturer company, Cyrus Poonawalla has also been awarded with this award. Then CEO Sundar Pichai, CEO Satya Nadella, then Bharat Biotech's Krishna Ella and Suchitra Ella, and Tokyo Olympics gold medalist Neeraj Chopra. So the names are have been mentioned, and all these personalities will be awarded with different awards, as I mentioned, between Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri awards. Now there's a bit controversy arises as well that this BJP government has also given awards to two prominent leaders of opposition parties. First is CPM party, that is Buddhadev Bhattacharya, and second is Ghulam Nabi Azad of Congress party, former chief minister and leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha. So why this is controversial? Because first is Mr. Azad, Congress person, and as I told you, former leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, have accepted this this particular gesture and this award, which has been announced by the union government. But Buddhadev Bhattacharya have said that I am not aware that I have been awarded with such an award, and he has said that if this award is being given to me, then I'll refuse it, or I'll refuse to accept it. So this is not the first time that the further elaboration. This has already been mentioned that bid to reach across the aisle, Buddha rejects, Azad welcome. So basically, this is not the first time we have seen that a person which has received awards from at a national level is rejecting or is withdrawing to accept that particular award. And earlier also similar kind of things have happened even in this BJP NDA regime as well, and even earlier instances we have seen under PV Narasimha Rao government as well. Then second news on the left hand side is lapsed FCRA, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act licenses. Supreme Court gives no relief to NGOs, says approach government. So this news we were discussing, especially last month, that 25th of December, we have seen that Missionary of Charity, which was established by late Srimati Mother Teresa in the year 1950, whose license was revoked and was not getting renewed. So not only that particular NGO, but even there are a lot of nearly 6,000 NGOs whose registrations have been revoked. But then we have seen that because of huge outrage, even in UK Assembly, we have seen voices raising against this giving nod to these FCRA, to these NGOs, non-governmental organizations. So Missionaries of Charities and other organizations, few organizations have got the green signal from the Ministry of Home Affairs. Now, one of the organization, they have went, one of the NGO who has not renewed on time and is not able to renew its registration, has went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has directed that will not give you any relief. If you want any sort of relief, then you need to talk to the concerned ministry or the concerned government, the Union Home Affairs Ministry. They will guide you that how to go ahead in this particular situation, because earlier also extensions had already been given, but still if then also you have not applied or reapplied again for the re-registration, then it would not be our fault. It's up to you how you take it, and you need to inform this to the concerned ministries. And even the ministry has already cited that those NGOs who have given or filled the registration or the application form within due course or within due time, proper action has been taken, and if everything was fine, then we have also renewed the registration of that particular NGO. But vice versa thing has happened. If an organization who has not given or not given his given an NGO has not given the registration process or not sent the this particular application form with all the details, then we have not basically extended the tenure, which is basically for 5 years for these NGOs. Then I've not highlighted this news. You need not to make notes of this news. That is, amid bilateral chill, India-China trade marks record surge in 2021. So if we compare the current situation in terms of not only in terms of import, but even in export as well, in both the parameters, if we compare it to the previous year or the 2020 with the last year, that is 2021, there's a huge increase with respect to import of goods from China. So if it and not only, as I told you, not only in terms of imports, but even in terms of export, if I tell you, the situation has even the export has increased. And but this thing raises questions that on one side we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, we talk about self-reliant India, and on the other hand, what we are doing, we are basically depending upon more so on China for import and export of our material. The biggest problem which arises, another problem, is that basically we send or we export raw material to China, but whatever we procure is basically, or majority of the portion what we procure is finished goods, especially the smartphones or the components for smartphone, automobiles, telecom equipments, plastic metallic goods, pharmaceutical ingredients, and all these other chemicals. So the government is also working on the similar direction when we have seen this thing that our Union Commerce Affairs Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, who is already working towards a free trade agreement with different nations, especially UAE, European Union, UK, and Australia, and even Israel as well, what we have seen earlier. So this data basically reveals that on one side we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat and all these things, and on the other side, if we compare the situation, the import is continuously increasing with with China, or the economic ties is continuously increasing with China. So on the other, if we look at another side of it, wherein the military side of it, wherein we have recently concluded 14th Corps Commander talks with China, but still we are not able to get a proper dialogue wherein there is not able to we are not in a comfortable position to solve the ongoing dispute which has been going on between both the nations, basically the boundary dispute. So keeping all these things in mind, this data is important that our export as well as import have increased if we compare 2020 with the previous year, 2021. Then you can skip this. Okay. Yes. Then the explain part. First explained is NGOs and foreign funding. So this news is on the first page. We had also discussed about this news, that is about the contribution which these NGOs were receiving under FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, which so started in the year 1976, then got amended in the year 2010. Then even the recent amendments have been made in this particular act. So here with this particular editorial, we'll try and understand what is FCRA and why it was established, what was the reason why the government has initiated with this process, and why NGOs receive foreign funding. So the idea, a lot of NGOs are formed. Their work is to provide basic amenities to people, or it depends upon NGO to NGO that for which sector they are working, whether they are working for uplifting of education or poverty eradication or all those matters. But it has been seen in the past that some of the NGOs, uh, they are working forgely, they are involved in anti-national activities, especially a few of the organizations, NGOs were involved in conversion activities, as was reported in Gujarat as well. So that's why the government or the Union Home Affairs Ministry was keeping a track on all these organizations, that whether these organizations are working in the right direction or not, or their vision document or their mission document, whatever they say, are they adhering to their rules and regulations or not. So last month, as I told you, by the name Missionary of Charity, it got into limelight, and even senior opposition leaders, Congress leaders, and West Bengal chief ministers, including all, have opposed this particular move. Then, especially Missionary of Charities and other big NGOs have their registration was again taken back. Then through this particular editorial, this through this particular explained. First of all, what is FCRA? That as I told you, it came into the power in 1976 at the time of an emergency when we were receiving a lot of foreign funds. So then it got amended. Then UPA government came up with enacted the same in the year 2010. Then some amendments are made recently. Then how is FCRA registration granted? Basically, we need to file an application. The NGO, respective NGO, has to file an application to the concerned ministry under the portal and fulfill all the rules and regulations, the documentation, the eligibilities. And if the Ministry of Home Affairs gives a green signal for the same, then their registration got extended for a period of 5 years. On what basis is approval cancelled? If the rules and regulations or the purpose for which this particular NGO has been formed, if they are not adhering to rules and regulations which have been stipulated under the Ministry of Home Affairs, then the government reserves the right, or the Ministry of Home Affairs reserves the right to revoke the registration of these NGOs. And this is not the first time that under this government, NDA government, second government, that NDA second government, that the registration of these NGOs have been cancelled earlier also under UPA government, UPA second government, UPA first government under the leadership of former Prime Minister Shri Manmohan Singh ji. Similar kind of incident we have seen wherein many NGOs, the registration of many NGOs have also got revoked or cancelled because of not adhering to the rules and regulations stipulated by the ministries. Then India ranks 85 in Transparency International's corruption index. So if you encounter such a kind of a question as an MCQ, that what was India's rank in the corruption index, which was promulgated by Transparency International. So India's rank was 85th rank, and the score is 40 score. More the score, 100 score denotes that you are corruption free and with all these matters, but our score in the corruption perception index is 40 only. Out of the 185 countries which are 180 countries which are part of this particular survey, which has been done by Transparency International. Okay, this we can skip. Yes. Now we move to the editorial part. So the first editorial is the strength of our republic. Constitution has served us well. Its spirit is undermined by hypocritical values, selective silence of watchdogs. So as we are celebrating the 73rd Republic Day, so the author herself is a Union Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman. She had talked about the strength of our republic, that how it took nearly two years, 11 months and 18 days to frame a constitution after independence. And there are a lot of leaders who were involved in that particular process. And Now, this for the implementation purpose, the way we have been working, wherein the grassroots democracy is still there in the country, where elections are held, wherein 4,000, wherein the representation of women are increasing, even not only in the low, the rural panchayats, but even at lower and upper houses of parliament as well. And the way uh, the way the leaders, the former leaders have taken or passed on the baton, the, the the current government or the previous government are following the same, and even the way processes or steps have been taken in order to uplift those people who are deprived of resources, especially with respect to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the poor. Steps are being taken by different governments so that those people who are deprived of resources can get equal representation. And even the author has also talked about the minority community, wherein few of the steps which have been taken by the current government, especially the about the triple talaq and about the amendments in the GST, wherein implementation of GST, she has also mentioned. So she has talked about that it's been nearly as we are celebrating 73rd Republic Day, and our constitution has been amended more than 100 times. Means GST was the 101st constitutional amendment. So basically, from this premise, what the author is trying to say, that if a particular if there is a change made in any constitution, that doesn't mean it's violating the rules and regulation. It is basically being done because some laws, some become outdated. So with time, with due course, we need to make proper changes in the same. So that's why the government took these steps. So the author, the finance minister, has talked about GST as well, how GST has changed the domain, how GST has helped in increasing the tax revenues of the government. So on those similar lines, she had talked about in this particular editorial. Then second is Republic Day memories and goosebumps. This is, former Olympian Duti Chand. She has talked about her own experience of holding a tricolor, her own tiranga. Even at the time when she was young, she was a kid, and then when she has hosted flags at different events, and when she had won at Commonwealth Games as well. So she has talked about her own experience of how it infills pride in oneself when someone is holding a this tricolor. Okay, so then we'll discuss the first editorial, that is what is at stake. Each citizen constitutes a republic, but it is officialdom, Thana court administration that secures it or lets it down. So the recent uh, event, what we have seen, wherein in the village in Rajasthan, in Bundi district, wherein we have seen that this is the first time boy, 27-year-old by the name Sriram Meghwal, has already been mentioned. He was the first Dalit to ride a mare on his marriage. So on this similar lines, the author has talked that it's been nearly, as we are celebrating 73rd Republic Day, but still the way caste has been deep rooted in our political system, and illiteracy, and even a lot of policemen were need to be guarded there, so that nothing out of the blue happens at this place. So that's why the author here has questioned that even after so many years of independence and framing of the constitution, the author has also talked about the rights which has been enshrined by the Constitution of India, but still there are a lot needs to be done. That has been said by the author in this particular opinion. Then signs of volatility, global and domestic factors lie behind recent market weakness. US Fed, RBI meeting, union budget are near term triggers. So through this particular editorial, there are two sides of this particular editorial. Recently what we have seen, that the market indicators, that is Sensex and Nifty in our country, have seen a drastic decrease, right? Earlier, we have seen that it was increasing like anything, the Sensex and Nifty, and even our chairman of SEBI, Shri Ajay Tyagi, has already raised concerns with respect to same that follow due diligence before investing, so that we are already aware. But here in recently, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, if we see uh, for the continuous 18 months, the stance of the government has not changed. But now, as per inflation is already there, the rise in wholesale price inflation is there, wholesale price index is there, and the US Federal Reserve has already made this thing point clear that they will be thinking that they are thinking that they'll not be following this accommodative stance, and they will definitely go for an aggressive this thing change in terms of repo rates, reverse repo rates, and all these indicators. So if anything happens to a big economy like India, it will definitely have an impact on India. So the author has talked about this particular thing that it will eventually helps the Indian market as well. And recently, the foreign investors, ever since we have seen Omicron variant, they have taken back a lot of funds from Indian market as well. But though domestic players have shown interest, but still the recent IPOs, what we have seen, there has been a quite a decrease in terms of the Sensex and Nifty, the market indicators as well. So that's why the author is of the opinion that there are signs of volatility, that there's there's signs of changes which are happening in the current securities market in India. Okay, this we can skip. Yes, this you can read almost a year on. Bad bank yet to take off. RBI not in favor of dual structure. So this news is basically about bad banks. So why I have you can highlight this as well. Basically, recently what we have seen for the nearly in the month of September and October, the government has come up with the setting up of NARCL, that is National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, for the bad banks, right? Setting up of bad banks, which will clear the amount of nearly 2 lakh crore, and a separate company, NARCL, which has been formed, which will be given a guarantee by the government of 30,600 crore, right? So this topic is important. So you can make notes, 360-degree analysis notes on bad banks of rupees 2 lakh crore, including NARCL and IDR CL as well. That is India Debt Resolution Company Limited. Yes. On the world section, Pfizer opens study of COVID shots updated to match Omicron. So as this new variant is already there and it's widespreading, and a lot of cases are increasing in mostly all of the countries. More than 170 countries have already seen cases relating to this new variant. So Pfizer, whose vaccines is already there, they are working towards working with its partner BioNTech, so that this vaccine, which has already been there, whether they need to make any change in the composition or something like that, so that it can counter, or it can create more antibodies and combat this new variant, that is Omicron. So that's why Pfizer is working towards the same. And second is Russia watching US actions over Ukraine with great concern. So recently, the ongoing dispute between Russia and Ukraine is at its peak, wherein Russia has already sent nearly 1 lakh troop at its Ukrainian border, and even Ukraine is taking help of NATO nations, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, wherein the NATO nations have already sent the arms, ammunitions, and choppers as well, and the fighter jets as well. And even USA has put its military on standby as well, right? So that's why all these things are posing a challenge, that how in future this ongoing conflict is going to end. So the Russian ministry has made the statement that they are keenly watching what USA is doing with respect to this particular ongoing dispute between both the nations. But Russia has already made this thing clear that USA is trying, is mediating, but though this will be detrimental for for NATO nations and Russia, and even for Ukraine as well, if the continuous involvement of US and NATO is going to increase in the ongoing dispute between both the nations. Then Israeli expert panel advises fourth vaccine dose for adults. So already Israel has already started inoculating a second booster dose to its 60 plus eligible population, and now the expert committee in Israel has recommended or advised to the government of going on for fourth vaccine dose, or I should say a second booster dose to its eligible population of 18 plus. Okay, so here we end the discussion of Indian Express. Now we'll move forward to The Hindu. Okay, so the first news is, okay, so now we'll move forward to The Hindu of 26th of January. So the first news which we'll be discussing is Center to remind states again of IS cadre rules. So recently these amendments have been made by Union government, and those amendments have been respectively been sent to the respective states and union territories. But sorry, only states. So what has happened recently? A few of the states have given their assent with respect to the same, especially mostly the BJP ruled states, including Haryana, Manipur, Madhya Pradesh, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, and Arunachal Pradesh, all which are governed by BJP, have given their consent with respect to these amendments which have been made by the union government, and on the Ministry of Department of Personnel and Training, which has been headed by our Honorable Prime Minister himself. And even 5 states, including Odisha, Meghalaya, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, and West Bengal, they have opposed these two amendments which has been proposed by the union government. And this thing we had already discussed, that some of the southern states leaders, the chief ministers of Kerala, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu, they had written separate letters to the prime minister as well, including the chief minister of West Bengal as well, demanding that this would hurt the cooperative federalism within the country. So this is not right on the part of the union government that they are going for this decision. Then India has shown unmatched resolve in facing COVID-19 threat, said by President. So our Honorable President, who was addressing this Republic Day message, wherein he has talked about the way we have handled this pandemic situation, and the way we are able to inoculate more than 160 crore vaccine doses, and even at the time of third wave, our economy or the way our economy is growing, the way our business is growing, is quite commendable. And he has talked about the infrastructure development and the resilience of nation as well, that even though tough times are there, but still we are able to combat with the current situation. Then General Rahat Kalyan get Padma Vibhushan. We had already discussed that 4 personalities have been awarded with the Padma Vibhushan, and 17 with Padma Bhushan, and 107 with Padma Shri awards. Okay, so then we move to the editorial part. So the first editorial, why Republic Day is celebrated. India is a republic only when its laws results from free public discussion and pass open scrutiny. So herein the author has talked about our preamble, our constitution, what is the difference between a republic and a democratic nation, or why there has always been if there is a discussion, or why this democracy is there, how it helps in the development of that particular country, and why those nations with monarchy have been opposed, or still some nations which are following the same process are not able to get momentum. So all these things have been talked by the author in this particular editorial. So the author has initiated with the way, the time which has been taken, and our scholars who were part of this process of framing this constitution, right? So he had started on those similar lines. Then he had talked about what is monarchy, wherein a single person is the leader, the one person who leads. So why this poses a problem in the development of a nation, and if a particular nation wants to develop holistically, then the voices of people cannot be diluted. It has to be in the public, so that more informed decision can come to the public foray, and development path the country can work upon. And even why discussion is there, this has also been discussed by the author, that even if we go about the small the legislative assembly, or small state assemblies, or the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, we see a huge outrage, huge discussion being going on between the ruling party and the opposition leaders. But still, that is a part of the discussion, that is a part of healthy democracy. Because if there is no opposition, then there will be problems. So the authors emphasize on the fact that this the foray, or at the place at which the public discussions are held, they are also helping us in development of a particular nation. And the author has also talked about the difference between republic and democratic, how India, even after more than completing 75 years of independence, how they are working. They'll be completing this year only. We'll be completing 75 years of independence this year only. So the author has cited the way we have developed in the past 75 years, and the way uh, an open forum or a public discussion helps in the development of a particular nation. And even in the second editorial as well, who is written by Shri Om Birla himself, who's the Lok Sabha Speaker, current Lok Sabha Speaker, and a member of Parliament, member of Lok Sabha from Kota constituency in Rajasthan, has talked about Republic Day himself, wherein he has greeted the fellow nationalist, fellow people of our country about Republic Day, and has talked about the time frame which has been taken, and the way the Constituent Assembly has been working, and the debates are been going on, and how these debates which happens that are eventually helping in creating a healthy atmosphere in the country, and the way on the principles of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Sahab. So all these paved a way for the development of our country, and basically for a vision for the future, wherein he has talked about the ideology which has been followed, or the way Mahatma Gandhi has led the way of our father of nation, of creating ideal democracy, which is at its core in the current situation as well. So with all these things, he has talked about the celebration of Republic Day. So you can link both these editorials, first and second. They are talking on the similar lines as well. Then the first opinion for the civic solidarity, the Chakma Hajong people deserve citizenship and not racial profiling. So recently, our NHRC, that is the National Human Rights Commission, has directed the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Arunachal Pradesh government of providing proper citizenship to these Chakma Hajong people who were already earlier part of Chittagong Hill, which was earlier eastern Pakistan and now in the Bangladesh. So that's why it's been nearly more than 50 years, and still they are stranded. They're not having proper location. They're not having proper citizenship. So that's why it always become problem to get employment, to get education. So and recently NHRC has made this has directed the Ministry of Home Affairs and Arunachal Pradesh government to take an action with respect to giving status or giving citizenship to these people belonging to Chakma and Hajong community. Then keep a check on language when criticizing Election Commission of India, said by Kiran Rijiju. This is a legal update. Basically, Kiran Rijiju, our Union Law Minister, has made this thing that it has been seen recently that a lot of people have criticized the actions of ECI, Election Commission of India, which is a separate body, and this is not right that a particular person, individual, or any organization, no one gets the authority to criticize an organization which has been set up and which the recently the incident we have seen wherein the secretary of Prime Minister was involved, wherein a talk has been held wherein it had directed that Sushil Chandra, Chief Election Commissioner, has to be present in that meeting. So all these things he has not said in particular, but he has said that we need to keep and check on those people who are raising faulty language against, or those people who are criticizing our Election Commission of India. Then no interim order on FCRA plea. This news we had already discussed. This is political. Then ramp up COVID-19 testing, said by Mandavia. So our Union Health Affairs Minister, Mansukh S. Mandavia, has directed the states and the respective governments that it's time that we need to ramp up the COVID-19 testing, because if testing is not happening at its peak, then it would be difficult to detect and if we see the current situation of Omicron variant, which is highly transmissible, so more the testing, more will be able to get an idea about how many people are getting infected, and we can keep them under isolation and the proper treatment, so that this highly transmissible variant can be halted upon, and we'll be able to keep an eye on the same. So that's why our Union Health Affairs Minister has directed all the states. Then India's active case tally crossed the 22.3 lakh mark. So the cases are increasing. For the past 24 hours, we have seen nearly 3 lakh cases. And even we are seeing deaths as well. And the most number of deaths are reported in Kerala, Maharashtra, followed by Karnataka, all these states. Then West is united against Russia, said by Biden. So already troops have already been sent, as I told you. They are already put on standby by USA, that if anything goes or if any strict action has been taken by Russia, then we need to be on standby, and we need to make sure that the situation does not become hostile in Ukraine. Then Pfizer BioNTech starts trial for Omicron specific vaccine. This news also we had discussed, that they both are working, both these companies, so that their vaccine can get more effective with respect to this current variant, Omicron. Then Russia launches new military exercise near Ukrainian border. So now Russia is not on the defensive side; they are also on the attacking side, wherein they have recently done this military exercise near Ukrainian border, and which has been closely monitored by US as well. Then Norway wanted to put tangible demands on Taliban at talks. So a 3-day talk which has been initiated in Oslo in Norway, wherein the leaders of Talibani government are there, and the talk is over, wherein they had discussed, they had talked about, they had met different organizations, even women organizations as well, institutions as well, so that they have assured that they will support, they will keep the rights and rights of women intact, and basically they are now in need of funds, because in order to run their government without funds, it's getting quite difficult for them. So that's why they are urging all the countries to provide humanitarian aid, or the frozen aid which has been stipulated with the US and other countries of Afghanistan. Then UN urges Burkina Faso military to free president. So United Nations has another nation wherein there is a tendency of this military coup. Earlier also we have seen of Myanmar and Sudan as well, and now Burkina Faso is on a similar situation, wherein the president Rochmark Christian Kabaro and other top officials are already being detained by the military. So the UN had urged the military of Burkina Faso to free the president. So here we end the discussion of both the newspapers. I hope the session was insightful. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching.